Okay, I'd like to start off by, you can close your eyes or not. I'd like you to imagine that you've finished school for the day and you're back at home. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just as you're about to sit down and start watching The Simpsons, your dad comes up and asks you for a favour. He says, there's no milk for cereal and there's no bread for tomorrow's lunches. He asks you if you can go down the shop and buy some bread and some milk. You take the $10 that he gives you, hoping that you might be able to buy a packet of chips with the leftover change. So you walk down to the nearest milk bar. You grab a loaf of bread and a litre of milk and head over to the counter. As the cashier swipes the bread and the milk, you eye off the chips and wonder what flavour you're going to get. But then you get a shock. The cashier says, that'll be $40, thanks. You look at the $10 in your hand and at the price tag on the bread. The price tag on the bread says $11. You realise you can't even afford to buy one loaf of bread, let alone milk and the bread. You feel your face slowly going red because now you have to put the food back on the shelf and leave the shop without buying anything at all. This feeling of having to leave a shop without buying any food is one that millions of people experience every day. Some days, kids and mums and dads can only afford to eat one meal for the whole day. I don't know about you guys, but if I have to miss breakfast, morning tea and lunch, I get pretty hungry and I can't really concentrate to do anything. I work for an organisation called Oxfam. We work in lots of different countries, helping poor people to be able to get enough to eat and to have more control over their futures. One of the places we work is the Solomon Islands. Solomon Islands isn't far from Australia. On this map, it's up on the right-hand side of Australia, near Papua New Guinea. Our staff in the Solomon Islands are telling us that most families are now only eating one meal a day because food has become so expensive. Kids are going to school without any breakfast and they're eating nothing all day until on their way home from school when they grab a coconut. And that's all they have until dinner. So why has food become so expensive for so many people? And why don't people have money to buy food? These are really big questions. Today I'm just going to give you a couple of reasons why food got so expensive and just one reason why people have so little money. One thing that's making food more expensive is actually climate change. So basically climate change is making the weather a lot more crazy. Extreme hot and extreme cold and floods are killing plants and trees that grow our food. So you might remember a couple of weeks ago it got ridiculously hot. It was 45 degrees for about 3 or 4 days running. In that heat, a lot of plants and fruit trees died in South Australia. The fruit actually started to rot on the trees. When the plants die, farmers have less produce, less food to take to market. When there's less of something, it becomes more valuable. It's like if you have a football card that nobody else has, it's worth more than the football cards that everybody's got at school. The same idea works for food. The less food there is, the more expensive it becomes. So for us in Australia, over the next few years, we might have to spend a little bit extra money on fruit and vegetables. But for people living in the Pacific, for our neighbours, some of their food is literally drowning under rising seawater. I'm now going to show you a short video clip about what's happening to food on the Carteret Islands.
My name is Ursula. I was born on the Carteret. My family has lived there for many generations. Now I live in Buka, on mainland Bougainville. I set up an organization to help my people relocate. It's called Tulele Pesa. I'm visiting the Carteret Islands to talk to my people about the relocation. Can I swim? There are 6 islands in this group. My island is Huene. It's small. Only 20 people live on this island. This is my home. In the Carteret's land is traditionally owned by women. My grandmother would pass land to my mother to me, to my daughter. I own Huene, and 10 years along the line, I would love to pass on this island to my daughter, but I will not be able to do that.